Welcome back everyone to our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager. So in our last video we went through the off season and now we are ready to get back to racing. So we got a few more things that I told you I would look at before we got back together for this video, and they dealt around scouting. Now I did not find any drivers that I really wanted to pick up that I felt like would have the performance and money combination that would be worth picking up for our second team. So we're not going to have any of those drivers that we picked up. However, in our staff, I did pick up a new race mechanic for car number 1. And the reason I did that is because, again, I want to try to get our performance as good as we possibly can as we work our way forward. The good news is the unlocks are pretty good here. The tire changes for our purposes in endurance races are going to be 15% faster once we get up to unlock this, and then level 2 is pit stop times are 1 second faster. So these are good that they help out with our pit stop. These could come in handy, who knows, down the line. And these guys don't cost all that much per race. Now I didn't replace the one for car number 2 because, well, we don't really have to worry about that. So we're not picking up any new drivers right now. We'll see how the season goes. And I hate to do that because I don't really like tanking with one of the two cars, but it kind of is what it is right now. We're going to focus where we need to focus. So let's come into actually our car itself, because it's time to design a new part. Now I could have done this a little bit earlier, but it would have interfered with some other things I wanted to do off camera. So I went ahead and moved forward a little bit. Not the most efficient way to develop new parts, but we're going to go ahead and do this. I wanted to do this with you guys rather than off screen. So one of the things that I really want to focus on is getting our car as good as we can. And let's look at the gearbox. Now this is very expensive. It's $1 million to do one, but let's see what we could possibly get. So we got plus 25 to the max. So that would get us up to an 81. From where we are right now. These others I'm not really interested in. We're interested in performance moving forward. Again, the best parts from each season roll over to the next year. Also, I want to see what we could get moving forward. Okay, there's a plus 40. I don't worry about the reliability. We can get that back. We're not going to worry about the risk level part. Plus 40 again to the max. So that's not bad. Let's come out, look at the suspension. And let's see, oh wow, everything here has issues. So let's just go ahead and choose one of these so we can see what else is available. Look at that, everything is risky except for this one. Yikes, that is no good at all. That's horrible. That is horrible. So no reason to really develop any suspension parts this year, maybe toward the end of the season. This is where, as I talked in the last video, if you want to shortcut the process and develop these parts, not use them in the race unless you kind of like that added element of intrigue. But develop these parts, don't use them on the car, and then next season when they roll over, you'll have much better performance because they will no longer be with a risk level. All right, let's see what we get with the brakes. We're already in pretty good shape with the brakes from last season. Look at this, more risk level stuff. More risk level. Okay, so I see one relatively good option there. So it looks like what we're going to want to focus on is going to be the gearbox with the amount of money that we do have to spend. So I'm going to go ahead with the 25 to the max. And then the next time I'm really liking this plus 40. Okay, so we'll spend a little over $1 million there, which is perfectly fine. Again, we're going to press the issue a little bit. And now we got to come in, and Mason here has really good numbers for reliability. So this is where we want him over here on this side. And so things are going as well as can be expected as we approach our first race. Let's go ahead and take a look at the pit crew itself. Let's see who is available for hire. Here's one good one. Okay, again, tires and fixing, very good. 0% mistake chance is added. I like that. All right, let's go ahead and hire him. Oh, 200,000, that's right. I forgot about that. I don't like that at all. Okay, so we've got some pretty good ones along the way. Let's see if we really need them, though. We can always use better pit crew, but for now, I'm not sure that they're terribly needed. Who down here needs to be working? Let's see. Oh, 7 and 10. I like this. So let's swap out for, yeah, let's swap out with Rawls. There we go. Let's see, 8 and 9. We definitely need this person working. And let's swap them out with, there we go. So that'll help us out. All right, other than that, let's see. The jacks really aren't all that important time-wise. Mistakes are really where they can hurt you. Okay, overall, I think we're in pretty good shape. Everything, of course, is a compromise. But I think we're going to leave it for here. I don't see any reason to spend any money right now. Okay, let's take a look at our sponsors. We got 2 sponsors right now, or opportunities right now. And then the other guys, within the next 2 races, we will replace all of these. Okay, let's move through our email, see what we've got. We're not worried about race previews. We're going to go in there blind and have some fun with it. Okay, there's our contract offer being accepted. Okay, I think we're all set. Let's get rid of this icon under scouting. All right, there we go. Let's go back under sponsors and see if there's anything worth having. So 5th or above. And, well, this is a pretty easy one because we get some upfront money here, and the difference in the bonus payouts is very small, plus the number of races. We're definitely going to go here. And sure, we could always wait until there's that 3rd one that pops up, if it ever pops up. It usually does, but I don't see any reason to really wait on that. All right, so 1st in class, 5th in class, or 10th in class. Well, we're going to go 5th in class. And you can see that would be quite a bit for us as far as money. That would get us down to losing only about 1.1 million for this race. If we can get and stay there, then we are in very good shape for next season, because that's more money that we can save, more money that we can use to develop parts, and so on. All right, so Team 1 and Team 2. Let's see. We're going to go... My idea is not really use these soft tires at all, in all likelihood, and stick with probably the hard tire with car number 1. But let's do 3, 6, and 6. And... yeah, I think it's probably where we want to be with both cars. Not really worried about car number 2. All right, let's see. Where do we want to be? Well, we definitely want car number 1 to have the best parts. Okay, looks like that's where we are. Reliability is a little bit lower there, but overall, I'm not going to worry too much about that. We're probably going to have to make repairs regardless of what we do on at least 2 pieces of the car during the race. So... kind of is what it is for the first few races, I think. All right, I think we are all set. We got sponsors checked, tire selections, and part fittings. It's time to head to the track. All right, practice and qualifying now done and out of the way. It's time to head to the race itself. And you can see our bonuses here. We didn't have very much time at all in the practice session, so we only got up to level 2 bonuses for the hard tires and the race trim. The car setups themselves, I actually didn't even touch. I just loaded up the ones that I had saved from last season. And the interesting thing here is when you come to the fuel options. Now, we are able to come out pretty good on the fuel if we don't push the engine, which I'm not inclined to do early on in the season anyway because of all the other reliability issues we have. So it says 47 laps. We should actually be able to get closer to 50, 51 laps out of this tank of fuel, which lines us up pretty good with the hard tire. The medium tire, not bad, but it's going to fall short because we're going to have to push a little bit with these drivers in order for some tire heat to get in there, but I don't want to push too hard because, again, that really hurts their driver's stamina. So we're going to try to push these limits as long as we can on the stints because we simply don't have the speed for these guys. All right, so again, same thing, very much so for the second car. The difference is we're using the medium tire here just to mix things up a little bit because these guys are not going to have the ability to go on the longer stints. All right, with that in mind, I think we are all set. Let's move through these final screens and let's get this race started. Let's get our camera in position. Okay, that looks good. But yeah, I want to push with the driver some. These tires will be able to take that, but at the same time, too much will be a bad thing because we'll have to cut our stints short. All right, here we go. Let's get this thing started. We're starting 19th and 24th. All right, already you can see tire heat is pretty low, so let's go ahead and push a little bit here at the beginning and try to get things heated up. Not going to worry about the position we're in right now. That's not all that important to us. The main thing for us is the length of these stints. And plus I want to see how the tire heat goes, how the car reacts to it, and also how the driver reacts to it, because we need them to last as long as possible. Okay, now we're starting to get the tire heat on up there, and here in just a moment I will be backing off. Let's see, well, I can't really afford to push a whole lot of any there on car number 2, so they're just going to have to deal with it. They don't have the speed to keep up anyway. You can see they are way behind, even on at this early on in the mini map. All right, so far so good, I'd have to say. Again, the strength of us right now is not going to be our performance level. It is going to be the fact that we can do it on fewer stops. That's our only shot right now. Okay, so let's push a little bit more. Again, I don't want the tires to bottom out on temperature, except for car number 2. I'm not even going to worry about them. I want to try to keep it somewhere just below or right at the halfway mark. Okay, that's enough of that. Oops, come back up here. Go back to neutral there. Okay, you can see the leader as well as 5th place are on the soft tires. We got 2 cars on the medium, including our second car. Okay, so we'll see how things go. We've already got a crash. So, hey, we'll take the positions any way we can right now. Okay, let's go back to pushing a little bit. But again, you can see the stamina really drains pretty quickly whenever you're pushing. So I don't want to do a whole lot of that. But I do want to try to give us some speed due to the heat in the tires. Okay, really would like to pick up this position, but we're having a hard time doing it. Time to back off. Okay, so where are we? Let's see, we are 30 minutes in, and stamina is not too bad. Again, if we have to push the stamina a little bit to get to that hour mark, then we will. So we've used up, what, 40 on the stamina, so a little bit more stamina than I wanted to use. All right, yeah, car number 2 definitely not having a good time in this race, and we're just not going to put any effort into them right now. If we get some better equipment and some better drivers along the way, then yeah, we'll do something with them, but for right now, it's just not worth it. Okay, let's push a little bit more. Again, you can see a few pit stops happening here. All right. Yes, I agree with Petra there. It would be nice to be able to make a few passes on the track every now and then. All right, there we go. Of course, I'm at a point now where I'm going to be backing off here shortly. All right, we're not going to worry about the worn tires. The medium and the hard tires, you can really wear them down percentage-wise without having to worry too much. Okay, go back to neutral. Again, just trying to milk that stamina for all it's worth right now and make sure we get to at least an hour. And generally, we want to go a few minutes over an hour just to give ourselves a little bit of a cushion, because not all of the drivers have as much stamina as the others. But otherwise, we're looking extremely good on fuel and tire. Alright, so tires look like we're going to have to pit first and get off of these medium tires, as well as get a new driver in here for stamina, which we will do. But you can see, I mean, this is just terrible. Alright, so we'll put more mediums back on there. And fuel, just go ahead and fill it up, because I'm not even going to worry about it. Okay, there we go. Let's go back to focusing on car number 1. Alright, can we go back to, yeah, there we go. Back to our car number 1. Pit stop looks pretty good. I didn't see any mistakes there. Mistakes 0. I like to see that. Okay, we're running low on stamina in car number 1, but again, that's what we would expect. Okay, tire wear still looks really good. And the good news is, the best news of all, 56 minutes in the car, 57 now. That really, really helps, because that means we are going to have an opportunity to do this on 2 stops. Again, I'm going to go a little bit farther. We're going to try to use up all the stamina we can for her, because all the stamina we can use up is just better. That's more opportunity that we don't have to drive with the second or third drivers, because I believe their stamina is going to be a good bit less in some cases, down around 88, 89, if I remember correctly. Am I right? Yeah, 88 is the lowest. All right, now it's time to come in to the pits. And who do we want to swap out? Let's go ahead with another long stint here. Okay, tire choice is once again going to be the hard tire. The fuel, looks like we had 5 left on that. We'll go ahead and fill it up again. Part conditions, oh wow, look at this. This is horrible. Okay, we really have no choice, so let's go ahead and do these 2 fixes. Okay, so not bad. We're going to get about an hour, 6 minutes out of Petra. So no need to rush here, because we are going to have a long pit stop for repairs. So we're going to go all the way to the back of the field with both cars now. But our hope will be that because this is the first race, maybe the AI guys will not repair their cars. Maybe they'll run out of some of these parts and be forced to retire, or they will repair their cars, and that'll put us right back on the same strategy as them. So already you can see in 16th place, they've got part warnings as well. So far so good. I mean, I have to say, this is going about as well as it could. Okay, unfortunately we just have no shot here on car number 2. This is actually quite hilarious for me. Okay, so how long was driver number 1 in there? 52 minutes, so not bad. I mean, I know we pushed the stamina down as low as we possibly could, well into the red, but still. Okay, so we've got low stamina here. This is the time we need to be swapping out. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. Let's try something a little different here. Let's go ahead and swap out. We're not going to change tires. There's 50% left, which is, we could probably use with a change, but let's go ahead and try to pick up a little time. We're not going to put any fuel in there either. Part condition, actually not bad. Not bad. We're going to try to stretch it without doing them. And again, we can afford to have plenty of fun with drivers of car number 2. Okay, let's go back over to the correct car. So you can see, of the cars that have come in at least once, which is everybody at this point, we are well off the pace, but of course we know what that is. Okay, let's come back down to neutral. Actually ran that a little bit longer than I wanted to. It used up a little bit more stamina than I wanted to, but that's all right. Maybe it won't hurt us too much. We can now run in neutral for quite a while as the tire continues to warm and now cool off after we have stopped pushing. So our hope now is that we can gain something from these guys having to make repairs in front of us or simply just breaking down. Alright, so we're 26 minutes into the stint. You can see that we've lost quite a bit of stamina. The good news is the red zone for Lee is quite low. So we're going to be able to use up quite a bit of that 93 stamina. Alright, I'm watching the pit stops as they are happening now. We're moving up, trying to watch the times as well. Because if we can continue to move up as these guys make pit stops, remember, we're going to make one fewer pit stops than they will. Okay, tires wearing down on car number 2. Wow, that is just bad. But they're just going to have to tough it out for a little while. Car number 1, so far so good. We've got another car that's been retired. Again, I didn't see a crash or anything or any messages about that, so I would assume that is a parts failure that they simply didn't repair. Okay, let's go ahead and push a little bit more. We're now at 41 minutes in the car in car number 1. So we'll push a little bit, but again, I'm going to be inclined to not worry a whole lot about it. So the fuel and stamina and tires and all of that. Oh, how about that? So let's go ahead and bring them in, I guess, for a pit stop now. Again, nobody has any stamina whatsoever. So there's an hour left, so we're just going to run these guys. Let's go ahead and put on that, and we'll fill it up this time, and we shouldn't need to put any fuel in it for the rest of the race, I don't think. We might need to, who knows. Okay, let's go ahead now that we've got poor car number 2 out of the way. Alright, so we got our brakes are now running down low on condition, which is exactly what you would expect. Okay, let's come back down to neutral. I'm starting to get a little worried about our parts and making it to the end of the race and making it that one more hour. We're going to have to fix the brakes when we come in, but I really don't want to fix anything else if we can hopefully get by with it. Okay, so we're in the neighborhood right now with these other drivers. Of course, they've made more pit stops than we have. Alright, some more complaints from the drivers. We're not using enough fuel, which is true. But he's focused on something that we won't deal with until a little bit later on into the season when we get some more reliable parts. Alright, we're getting down to it now. And the reason I'm continuing with this same driver, even though, I mean, he's right at an hour, I'm continuing on because our third driver has the least amount of stamina. So I want to make sure that, and you can see the red level is raised, what, about 1.5 times what we've got on the current driver. So I'm trying to make sure we leave enough stamina to get things done as much as I can. All right, we're going to be close to 45 minutes. Let's go ahead and trigger that pit stop. And let's see, 45 minutes actually. I think the medium tires should work. Let's try it. I mean, again, what do we have to lose? And we'll go ahead and let's see. We've got 45 minutes. Really, we don't need this much fuel, but we'll go ahead and put it in there because I do not want to run out. We'll fix the brakes, and I'm hoping everything else will make it to the end because I don't plan on pushing with this final driver. Not unless I see that the parts can handle it toward the end of the race. Okay, so far so good. We'll set up the second pit stop, and if they get stacked up in the pits, that won't be a problem. Let's see, let's go ahead and put, I don't want to change tires anymore for them. Let's go ahead and put the hard tire on. Fill up the fuel, and what about parts? All right, let's go ahead and fix. All right, let's take a chance. Let's only fix that one thing. If they drop out of the race, then they'll just drop out of the race. It won't make any difference points anyway. Okay, everything looks good to go. No mistakes. Okay, let's go. Swap back over. There we go. So now the tire heat should be a little bit better with the medium tire than the hard tire. So keep in mind, if we can't get into the top 5, it won't matter anyway because we won't get any points. So that's really what it's about for us right now. We got to get to the top 5, and you can, of course, right now we were in briefly into the top 5 anyway. But if we can get there, then that will mean points for us and, of course, sponsorship objective with some nice money payout as well. But otherwise, it will make no difference whatsoever. So at this point, we're right down to it. The final 30 minutes, and we are simply hoping that the car survives and some of these other guys do not. There you go. There's a pit stop for repairs. All right, so that'll be one position we will make up, and we'll have a nice size lead over them. Okay, hopefully we can maintain that lead. Let's go ahead and push some. Keep an eye on the condition of our parts. Not too bad. Not great on any of the parts. Okay, another pit stop here ahead of us. Hopefully, again, we can... No, we didn't come out ahead of them. They didn't make any repairs, though, either. Okay, let's go back down to neutral. All right, so at this point, we've got 23 minutes left, and we really have two things on our mind. We want to make sure that our car, car number 1, that is, makes it to the end without any more pit stops and without any failures. And then also we need some guys in front of us here, 3 guys in front of us, to either drop out of the race or have to come in and make extensive repairs. It's hard for me to believe that they wouldn't need to. There we go. There's another repair that looks like it's going on. Nope, they got out ahead of us though. Okay, so that's what speed will do for you. Now we're starting to get part warnings. All right, so we're down to that part of the race. And yeah, we're below 20%. And now we're just going to have to hope we can make it. Really no sense in pushing the car because that's not going to work. And on car number 2, we're just going to run down completely out of stamina and hope that we make it to the end. All right, looks like everybody's made all the pit stops they're going to make. And just like in the first race of last season, looks like we're not going to end up where we want to be. Yep, all the numbers look good though as far as, well, fuel, we're going to have way too much fuel, but condition, yeah, I would prefer to be able to push on the fuel, but car just isn't going to take it right now. All right, so we're under 2 minutes now, and we're right down to it. I don't see, oh, we got a retirement up in front of us. Okay, that's going to move us up a spot. And, well, it should have. Yeah, there we go. So it moved us up one spot, but that was it. Everybody else managed to limp their cars home, unless they did repairs that I simply missed along the way. Wow, that was rough. That was rough. Not the kind of races that I prefer to run. I would prefer to be up front, at least somewhere in the top 5, fighting for some points, but we'll have to look forward to the future for that. Okay, let's go ahead and move forward. Okay, nobody got any disqualifications, which you wouldn't imagine they would this early in the season. But you can see no points for us in that race. All right, so we'll move on through these last few screens. We'll see the money, and then we'll see how all the morale goes. Assuming this thing loads and doesn't crash on me. There we go. Okay, so driver morale looking great across the board. Nice there. Of course, we're going to have to work on the relationship with the mechanic, with our brand new mechanic. So not bad there. Marketability really didn't go up, nor would you expect it to. And we only lost $644,000 at that race. That's all the cost was in that race. Very nicely done. Excellent. All right, so as we head back to our main menu, that'll do it for race number 1 of the season. But you can see we got a lot of work left to do. So much more performance that we need to get on board. But I think we're going in the right direction. Again, just trying to save some money along the way, not trying to get too crazy with it. But overall, I'm excited about the direction that we're taking. I think by the end of this season, or really even before that, we're going to be performing a lot better than we are now. So our hope will be that the other teams don't get better faster than we do. So we'll see how it goes. We'll come back next time for race number 2 in our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager.